Good morning, Foothill loves. Bella here this morning. Just gonna share the techniques from the workshop on Saturday, Dissolve. Oh, Bob, thank you for panning around the studio. This is where I work and dance and do yoga and just live. Okay, so just gonna kind of quickly go through the roller and tennis ball things. You'll have to pause this video if there's something that intrigues you that you want to work on. It won't be going at the speed that you will practice. It'll be much faster. So that landmark of the bottom tips of the shoulder blades with the roller, right? You just kind of nestle into it. Support your head completely with your hands. Lift your hips up a little bit and just get that whole area from the hump at the base of your neck to the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. Hips and heart level. If I want to get more high up here by my neck, I'd get my hips higher than my heart. Then you can really get in there. So this is really a beautiful area to work, but one side usually needs more attention than the other, so you can let the knees start to drift. I'll just show you the left side. Knees are drifting over. Remember how I talked about the edge of South America, the coast? So I can get the edge of the shoulder blade, and then I can get the full-on continent in there, and then I can get the other coast of South America. And, you know, you can pause anywhere, you can just take your time, you can breathe, just make sure it's just a little bit edgy and not over your edge. Then you can let your elbow rest on the floor, let your head just rest in your hand, and there you are. You can explore the whole armpit, a little above, a little below, and then into the front ribs. Lots of breath, pausing anywhere that feels like juicy, wanting to spend a little bit more attention. So that's the upper part of the heart basket. The lower part of the heart basket, I come back to the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, stay curled up, completely curled up, so I can get the last few ribs. Very tender in here. You can explore a little bit to one side if you'd like, but don't spend as much time here as you spend up top. Much more tender, but pretty juicy in here. You want to get there. So the next area in the back body is in between the pelvis and the ribs. The easy way to get there is to kind of lock your elbows over the edge and just land on the shoulder blades, and then work with the edge of the pelvis like this. Right? Anything you want to do in there. I'm right at the waist. My belly button is right on top of the roller. Then I'm going to let the roller drift down 2 or 3 inches and get into the sacrum. This feels so good. Making stuff up here, just playing. And then pushing the roller away in order to walk. Now, we also played with sitting on the roller, which you can do like this. Right? This feels really good to get into the hips. We spent quite a bit of time right here. And then you can get into the legs. And this is very painful for some people. Don't be afraid. It's kind of amazing what you can accomplish if you'll just roll out these quads and then start to press into one hand and get more into the side of the leg. So right now I'm getting more into the side of the left leg. Can you see that? And then I might sneak on over. So I'm really on the side. This leg might come up. If it's a little roller, you can have your foot on the ground when you do this. Right. But you want to get the whole area from the knee all the way to the hip. All aspects of the leg from the front to the side. And then we work with the shins a little bit. You can be up like so. And just rolling, especially the outside of the shins. So I'm letting my hips go over a little bit. We did a little bit of stretching of the feet back here when we were done with that. I think that was all that we did with the roller, right? And then we got into using these tennis balls in the whole back body. So you might start with them just rubbing right there where the skull meets the neck. It's a really good spot to play around with. And then you can let the tennis balls go into the cervical spine, into the curve, very gently, working with this area. No hurries, no fixing, no big pressure, just a gentle exploration. And then you can flick them so that they are, I'm going to go a little bit further down the mat, so that they're right below the hump of the neck.
And then a couple of options for your head. You can completely support it and fool around with rolling down your own spine, right and left and moving. Some people like to keep the head down and move the arms around. It's not good practice to put your head down if it's like this. If it's like this, you can put a pillow under it or really support it with the arms. If this feels like too much pressure, keep using your roller for a while or really pad the area where you're working. See how I'm just continuing to go down, 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 down. Now I'm in those lower ribs that are super tender, so I'm staying tucked up a little bit. Or alternatively, I might lay down and lift my hips a little to keep the pressure just how I want it. Just rocking the hips back and forth, working my way down the spine. All the way here, now I'm in the lumbar spine. There's a little curve there, so it's usually possible to put the hips down and work away, nestled into the curve of the low back. Just coming down, coming down. Finally, I'm at the top of the sacrum. When I get there, I'll turn the tennis balls this way and put one at the tailbone and one at the top of the sacrum, and then I can just go back and forth and get a good hip massage in here. Back body with the tennis balls, right? Take your time, enjoy. And then we did fool around a little bit with, well, what can I release in the psoas in front? Just as an introduction, just as a hello. There's so much more to do here, but guidance is very useful. This is very tender. So right below the ribs, right at the diaphragm is where I can start. The more I press into my forearms, the less pressure. And then the same way that I went down the back body, I can just kind of roll back and forth all the way down until I get to, you'll feel a hard stop at your own pubic bone. So you'll come down all the way from here right to about here, just exploring both sides, the psoas that we looked at. Then after we did all that, of course I'm not dancing, we did plenty of that as well. We came back to the roller for a little bit of stretching. We got our hips up on top of it, and we stretched the psoas out like this. Heel on the ground is very helpful. Play around with how much the knee comes into the chest, looking for a good sense of lengthening through the psoas somewhere in here. We also looked at just stretching out the back of the legs. This is a really nice way to do that. You can do one leg at a time, right? Or you can do both legs together, just looking for good length all the way through the back of the legs. Pull the toes down toward the face. Open up the inner thigh and get a good stretch in here. If that's too much, you can try it with the knees bent. That can be a really good stretch as well. And then those deep rotators of the hip. Oh, I forgot, we sat on the tennis balls right there too. Remember that? Holding the tennis ball in one hand and getting into those deep rotators. Now we're gonna stretch them. This is a good way. Ankle on the opposite thigh and then just come in. You're gonna feel a deep stretch in here. And then we can tighten up that stretch and get a little closer to midline by crossing the legs and stretching, kind of the same pattern right there. Lots of breath, taking your time here. When you're done with those basic 4 stretches, you can release yourself. It's a good moment to do a twist, right? You might bring the arms out, shift the hips over, come into a twist on one side, decide what's going to happen with this arm, because it's not about the shoulder, it's about the heart basket moving back. So this hand can rest here for a twist. It might want to explore up and out. It shouldn't be hurting the shoulder though, so we're going to twist for a little bit. And then coming back, we came back so many times to this shape of constructive rest. It's a nice place to end your practice. Just in this shape here, maybe one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, just checking in, breathing. I think that's good. Bye-bye.